Today I'm going to try something I haven't done before. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, now I will screen share the starting slideshow. Okay, I had to stop the Facebook Live. There was some kind of sound that was very irritating to me. So if anyone wants to watch this, it will be recorded and it will be on YouTube, and I'll put it into Facebook, but I can't continue with the live. All right, now I'm going to screen share the introductory. This computer takes some time in whatever it's doing. So, okay. Welcome to Raising Happy Kids Zoom Show, episode 41, The One Rule to Raising Happy Kids. During this 1-hour Zoom show, I focus on sharing tips and lessons on the one rule to raising happy kids. Each episode has at least one example of the one rule in action, demonstrating how it helps you raise a happy child. Then we have Q&A and discussion. When I talk about raising happy kids or creating harmony with kids, I bring up the one rule. The one rule equals agreement. Agreement equals harmony. Using the one rule means you find agreement. That's the rule. You find a solution that everyone likes. You've found agreement. You've found harmony. Knowing and following the one rule is all you really need to create harmony between you and your kids. In any situation where there are differences that might lead to conflict between you and your kids. Use the one rule. I learned this strategy from 3-year-old children. I was teaching them a complex conflict resolution strategy, actually intended for adults, and they taught me this. So don't think you're in for a rough time. It's simple, it's easy, it's powerful and effective. It works if you use it. I'm glad you're here. All right. That's our little introduction. I thought of something. I am going to see if I can go live on YouTube and we'll see. I've never done this. I tried it once, didn't do it successfully. Hopefully today will be different. Wow, let's see. Oh, I don't think it's gonna work. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. There were several things I thought I would share today. I've been working on this new website, some success, some not. Hopefully, sometime soon it will be up. I'm working on the 4th magazine. I will be making sure to share this, the first 3 widely, and then this one also. I'd shared the first one, and so we may take a little look at it today. I'm going to get the okay. I'll start with what I had pulled up to share with you. Let's see, let me get the screen share going here. Okay. No, that wasn't it. This was it. Okay. Apparently, this was a Zoom show that I did. I was not able to find the slideshow for it, so I'm not really sure how I did it. Anyway, this was talking about how the one rule heals bullies. And actually what this turned out to be, and I don't know where the first part of it is, are I guess reasons you might say why using the one rule is really helpful instead of some of the common ways that adults relate with children. Though I think that has changed a lot since I was raising my own children and working with children at Children's House. Okay, so the way it was then, many adults were practiced at dictating solutions and not caring whether others like their decision or not. I mean, it was common in those days, and maybe in some situations still, to say, I don't care what you want, we're going to do it this way. I'm the boss, I'm in charge. So, especially if the others don't usually have a say in the decisions, like kids or even employees. I know hearing of people who have problems with their bosses that way. It is so much easier when everyone involved is in on the decisions. In fact, everything is better when everyone agrees with the decision. In fact, the authority can still make a decision, and if everyone involved agrees, then it's still good. You're still using the one rule. As good as if everyone participated in making the decision. Truly, they are participating by agreeing. So the person who's used to making the decisions can still put out what they want as a decision, and if everyone feels good about it, then that's the way to go. The difference is here that the decision is not finalized until those involved agree. This might be a good transition strategy. The authority still makes decisions. That means transition from being in charge and not caring what others think to working together in harmony. So transitioning from the first to the next, this could be a good, because the authority still makes decisions, but now cares that these decisions are good for all involved. In this way, they practice doing what they've been used to doing, but thinking more inclusively. So when they decide, everyone likes their decision and agrees with it. Because when they're thinking of what they would like to decide, they're taking into account what they know about the other people so that what they share as what they would like is likely to be agreed upon by everyone involved. And if something needs to change a little bit, it can. Now, actually, when I was reading through this last night and just now again, it came to me that this is very close to what I recommend when people are starting this practice, to just do it in your mind at first. When think of situations where there's commonly friction, and in your mind, think of how you would like it to go, and what are the possibilities that the other person, your child, primarily that's what we're thinking of, what other possibilities this will help you practice and ease into this, this everybody working together harmoniously using the one rule. What might have to be there for you to feel good about it, or what if it's there you couldn't feel good about it? So if you practice this for a while, like let's say you are newly married, you don't have children yet, or you're pregnant and going to be having a child, it's really, really helpful in either of those situations. Or even if, let's say, you already have a child, but things are not going smoothly and you want them to be better, this is a really good practice in that situation also, to help you develop kind of like the one rule muscles, where you're moving away from needing to be the one in charge to working harmoniously with the children in your lives. So let's continue on here. So why agreement? As you know by now, if you have read some of my blog posts, I do have a blog. I have a blog on WordPress, yes. And what I will do is I will post a link to that. So on my Facebook page and in the group, if you haven't joined yet, you might like to do that. It's the Happy Kids group, and just ask to be let in and someone will let you in. Okay. The one rule is my culminating formula for almost 50 years of focus on creating harmony with kids. And the one rule is agreement. It doesn't matter the details of the agreement, just that there is agreement. That's why it is a rule. It is the simplest, most powerful formula to find and to create harmony with kids. Why agreement? For harmony to exist, one person cannot be forcing another person to do this or that. Anything less than agreement results in some variation of force, or at least dissatisfaction, if no force is involved. We're going for harmony, right? Punishment. I've always felt that punishment is something parents would like not to have to do. I think that when a parent says, "This is going to hurt me more than it hurts you," they really mean that. It does hurt them to hurt their kids, but they believe that they must, so their kids will behave the way they want them to behave. They believe that it is their responsibility as parents. Because of this, because of what I believe here about this, I've believed that if parents knew there was a way to ensure good behavior on the part of their kids without having to punish them, parents would be glad of that. Of course, they would have to believe it's true, but once they did, I think parents would be glad to learn how to do this. If on top of all that goodness, it's super easy, can even be enjoyable for the parents and agreeable to the kids too, hey, why not, right? Solution-oriented. Besides helping you and your kids find harmonious solutions to your differences, whether it concerns following their interests or other situations, the one rule can also help create harmony between siblings. A common source of conflict is two kids wanting the same thing at the same time. Let's say you notice a situation like that. Voices are starting to rise. Before it gets more into conflict, you go to them and ask, "Does anyone want some help?" Usually, one or the other or both start explaining their side of the story. That's what I discovered in Children's House, because I used that for a long time as my introduction into helping them. Okay, so explain what you understand about what they just said. If you got it right, they'll tell you. If you got something wrong, they'll tell you. So let's figure out how we can solve this so you both feel good about this. Something you agree on, because you are both important. Pointing to each, you are important and you are important. And you both deserve to feel good. So we'll find a way that works for both of you. You have done several important things here. Interrupted the movement toward conflict, reduced the negative energy by encouraging them to explain what they want help with, shifted the goal from getting what they wanted to finding a solution that they both agree to. Started 3 people, you two, thinking of possible harmonious solutions. There is bound to be some solution that they'll both agree to. That has been my experience. There could be many, but there is at least one point of harmony in any situation. Kids tend to find harmony quickly. Be sure to stay with them until agreement is found. The idea is to help them gain the skills necessary to be able to solve situations like this on their own. When you make the one rule a common way to interact with your kids and help your kids use the one rule to find their own solutions, you have done a lot toward making harmony the foundation of your family. Helping your kids follow their interests then comes easy and natural. Now, this next paragraph, sentence actually, was about the guardians. You may have heard some or all of those stories. How they got formed was because of a bully, and how his life was changed. I wonder if I have that here. Okay, maybe I should stop this screen share for now. All right. Now, one thing that I didn't go into in much depth, I did mention being solution oriented. And that can be helpful in all kinds of situations. Anything that is negative or you perceive as negative, instead of focusing on that, on what you don't like or what's not going the way you want it to go, if you become solution oriented and instead start thinking, well, how to fix it, it can improve things, a lot of things in your life, in inner things and outer things. So let's see. I think what we'll do, I'm going to do another screen share. And I'm going to share the last magazine with you. Okay. All right. Here's the cover. How the one rule can help you. And here's some of the articles. There's a few stories. There's a couple of trainings. We have a guest writer, Lisa Wasikowski. And let's see. In this issue, from the editor, when you use the one rule, you are sharing these messages with your kids. I want us all to be happy. We are all important. We can solve our problems together. You are important. You matter. I believe in you. I love you. Lisa Wasikowski is our guest contributor, sharing harmony as a parent. A powerful movement from not much harmony to her deep understanding of the point of harmony. So here's the table of contents. That's the training. And there's some stories, another training, and some more stories. And harmonious answers, ask Karen. Here, Lisa is writing in. And here's her contribution. Neither of my parents had much harmony in their lives growing up, and neither healed before becoming parents. So the vicious circle continued. I never thought I would be a good mom. As a child whose parents did not prioritize creating harmony, I have struggled my whole life to attain it, and I knew if I ever became a mom, I would have a heck of a project in front of me. Harmony means agreement, Karen Rice. I never felt I deserved better than being the figurative welcome mat or punching bag. If nothing else, it gave me purpose. Life has never been easy for me to come by, and harmony does not exist. Love has never been easy for me to come by. Oh, big difference. And harmony does not exist without love. My parents were my parents, and to question them was wrong. I hated it. No room for me in there, no room for my inquiries, concerns, or requests. We are products of our environment. We teach what we know. We do what we know. I want to be better for my daughter. As a woman in my late 40s, I am still learning how to love myself in order to create harmony. And as a mom of a child with cognitive and developmental delays, including with speech and language issues, I try to understand that love is not always soft and comfortable. Sometimes love is a well-kept schedule or a nudge. Sometimes love is an important question answered or a puzzle cleaned up after use. Sometimes love is admitting guilt, apologizing, and letting it go. Sometimes love is just stepping back for a few deep breaths, honoring personal boundaries, and redirecting ourselves. Love is the waterfall. Harmony is the bridge. True love flows effortlessly like a waterfall. Harmony is different. Harmony takes time, effort, and continued maintenance. Compromise is not easy for me, never has been. Even now, I struggle with the rejection. I struggle with transitioning to compromise. Fortunately, my daughter was born knowing how to love without bounds or conditions. I am the teacher, but I'm also the student. No matter how far behind I fall or how caught up in my own head I get, I know she loves me. The teamwork part, neither of us come by naturally. Both my daughter and I are neurodivergent and require different protocols to keep us safe and feeling loved. We are two very different people with two very different sets of needs and desires. Sometimes I go to where she is and we build. Sometimes I bring her to me and we build. Sometimes she brings me to her and we build. There really is no meeting in the middle until we have done enough of the bridge in place, until we have enough of the bridge in place to support our requirements. When it comes to the day-to-day, my husband and I generally give her choices. A choice is a vote, and the vote is hers to cast. I find this is an important component of agreement. Recently, my energy levels have been low. It is up to me to self-regulate, but it requires being truthful. My perimeters are figured into the lowest common denominator before we even begin. The same goes for her when she is not feeling great. Health and wellness come first in this house, and we honor self-care as self-love. I offered her a few options I could deal with and let her choose. Choice. Watch what you want with your headphones on while completing a school assignment. Voices off. Choice. Practice handwriting. Voices off. Choice. Silent reading. Voices off. She asked for outside play. I chose to stick to my boundaries. My husband took her out after his meeting ended. While she waited, she chose to watch a program and work on her assignment. Everyone's needs were met. Everyone felt acknowledged. I cannot teach my daughter how to set healthy boundaries if I cannot make and maintain healthy boundaries of my own. And I cannot teach harmony, at least until I attain it. The point of harmony is to love ourselves and to love each other in synchronicity. So in the magazines, there are some ads. Okay, harmony with babies through 2-year-olds. This is a training. The thing is that I just realized, and with the training come questions for you to explore. Oh, here's another story of someone keeping her boundaries. This is from the third edition of my first book, and it's called Parenting for the New Millennium. It has lots of story examples of parents and children creating and maintaining harmony. So I'll read this one, Doctor's Orders. Yesterday, Lindy hurt her back and her chiropractor gave her strict instructions not to lift heavy objects. She said that included Maddie. Lindy is certainly glad that Maddie can walk now, but she is not sure how this is going to work. Everything went fine until she was making dinner. Maddie was hungry and tired, and he wanted her to pick him up. Maddie, my back is hurt. I can't pick you up right now. Uppy. He leans against her legs, stretching up his arms. She knows he wouldn't ask if he didn't need her, but she really can't lift him. She turns off the stove, walks to a chair and sits down. Come here, Maddie. I can hold you here. Maddie runs over and climbs up into her lap. They hug each other for a couple of minutes. Then they sing a few of their favorite songs. Maddie, now I have to finish making dinner. Randy and Eva and Wendy are coming for dinner. Your daddy will be home soon, and he really appreciates it when food is ready. He is usually so hungry. I need you to get down. You can go find the kitty. She is probably hungry too. Maddie clings to her neck. Oh, Maddie, I really have to finish dinner. I'm sure you want food too. She doesn't want Maddie to be unhappy, but she can't hold him while she's standing up and she wants to finish preparing dinner. Maddie, would you like to watch me work? You can sit on the counter. You can help me. She puts him down. Come with me, Maddie. She stands up and reaches down her hand as she walks to the stove. She moves the stepping stool over near the counter. Mommy, Uppy! Maddie runs over to her. I can't pick you up, but you can climb up here. I'll help you. Then you can help me. Lindy puts a small towel on the counter for him to sit on and helps him climb up. She stands in front of him to make sure he won't fall off. Here, Maddie, will you hold this spoon for me? Do you want a piece of apricot? She is so relieved. This is working out well. So far, so good. This book that here's for Harmony with Your 2-year-old training. Okay, here's another example. Of one of the example stories from the book, Parenting for the New Millennium. It's been a busy morning, so many errands to do. One advantage of living in a small town is that all the shops are within easy walking distance. Terry has been so patient, content to sit in her stroller and watch life unfold. Of course, the snacks and juice her father Dean brought along have helped a lot. When they stop in front of a pet store so that her father can chat with one of his friends, Terry starts to climb out of her stroller. She has never belted in anymore since she started crying every time her parents tried to fasten the belt. Dean notices what she is doing. Terry, we're not done with our errands yet. Please get back in your stroller. He bends over to help her in. Terry twists to avoid getting in and leans away from the stroller. Out, out! Dean lets go of her. She's been very cooperative this morning. I guess I have to follow her good example and be a good cooperative example myself, he says to his friend. Terry runs over to look at the puppies in the window. Her father moves close to her as he continues to talk with his friend. Then his friend leaves. Okay, Terry, let's go. Terry runs in through the open door of the store. Inside there are kittens, more puppies, birds, mice, rats, hamsters, fish, bunnies. Daddy, Daddy, look! Her father sees the delight and wonder on her face. He still has a couple of errands to do before they head for home. He has a lot of editing to do that afternoon before his article is ready to mail. I guess this was before emails. He watches the concentration on his daughter's face as she watches the mice scurry around their mouse house. It's another 5 minutes or even 15. Even half an hour wouldn't really be a problem. Let her have her errands too. After 10 minutes, Terry comes over to her father. Up, Daddy. I hungry, I tired, no stroller. Just a second, Terry. He puts the packages in the stroller and then picks up his daughter. She hugs him and snuggles her face against his neck. We don't have any more snacks with us, but let's get you an apple at the corner. Then I have 2 more stops and we can go home and have lunch. It feels so good to hold this sweet, loving child, to have her trust and her affection. At the corner, Terry picks out the apple she wants. Her father gives her the money to pay for it. Climb into your stroller and I'll cut up this apple for you. After she's settled with her thinly cut apple slices. Let's go. You can help me with my last 2 errands. Oh, look at all the flowers. He's hoping that the apple, his conversation, and involving her in the errands will be enough to keep her awake until after lunch. Then it would be great if she took a nice long nap. Here's another ad. Okay, agreement, not sacrifice. This is one of the trainings from the One Rule. And I may as well let you know that that is the book, which is sort of the title of this Zoom show, The One Rule to Raising Happy Kids, is going to be available to anyone who signs up with me. So but right now I'm going to share this one training with you because this is one of the areas that adults seem to have trouble with. They're thinking that this way of doing things means they have to give up what's important to them. So this is lesson 2, agreement, not sacrifice. Of all that I've discovered and created to create harmony with kids, the One Rule is the simplest and most powerful strategy I've come across so far. It's a clear, simple version of what I actually did to create harmony with my kids. With kids, my kids, their friends, and the kids I worked with. The One Rule is not to make you agree. It is to help you, support you, as you find something that you all easily agree to. Too often the habit is to insist on what you want no matter what anyone else wants, or to give in to others no matter what you want. The One Rule changes this. When you become aware that there are differences between you, decide to use the One Rule to find a harmonious solution to your differences. You are not giving up on your personal desire. You are expanding it to include someone else, like your child. The One Rule expands everyone's goal to include harmony and the satisfaction of all involved. When you use the one rule, you are committed to finding a solution that everyone involved can agree to, because it is a solution that is satisfying to everyone. This is what you commit to when you use the one rule. Everyone involved happily agrees with the solution. That is the rule. I call it happy agreement. Today, just think about this. Neither you nor your kids are expected to have to agree to something you do not like or that is disappointing. You agree to something that you like, that pleases you. Once you are convinced that the one rule is as strong as I know it to be, you know you can rely on it to get you back to harmony with the kids in your life. The one rule is so powerful, just using it can help you get to harmony. Of course, you have to use it. You can't just know about it and not use it. However, I just became aware of something. Knowing about it is like planting a seed. Just knowing about it is the seed that changes how things were. You now know that something exists that might help you create harmony with or between your kids, if it's used. Most likely, eventually, you'll use it. Someday, you'll have to give it a try. If you take it as far as telling your kids about it, they are very likely to use it. At least that has been my experience with kids. In fact, that might be a good strategy. Tell your kids about the one rule and how it works, and tell them you want to use it but might forget or not be able to. So you hope they'll help you out by remembering and actually putting it to use. When you make the one rule a common way to interact with your kids and help your kids use the one rule to find their own solutions, you have done a lot toward making harmony the foundation of your family. One thing that's come through my mind a few times as I've been sharing these things with you is that in the days that I worked in our Montessori school, I didn't have the one rule, even though interacting with some children did end up giving it to me. It just took me a lot of years, lots and lots of years to figure this out. But one thing that I remember is that I only gave a few formal lessons working with children on this, but after a while, it just became the way they interacted. And we're talking young children. We're talking like 3, 4, 5-year-olds. There were 2-year-olds there too. I don't know how involved they got with this, but we didn't have problems with them either. So, and they didn't have problems with each other. Pretty interesting. Okay, let's see. Here are the questions that go with this lesson. Think of a solution you would like to solve with the one rule. How would you like the solution to be solved? Write this down if you wish. What is another way you might like it to be solved? Think of another way it might be solved. Repeat this process with as many situations as you like. Now, this is something you can do. You can start now and make this huge difference in your life. Here's another one of the example stories. It's one of my favorites. This is an advertisement if you want some help. Another example story. Another example story. And here's a real quick example story. Appreciation. I've called all of you together because I want to tell you what a great job I think you're doing with picking up after yourselves. I must admit, I did not expect you to stick so closely to our agreement. I'm sorry I did not have more faith in you. I'll do my best not to let that happen again. It's been 2 weeks and I love the way the house is looking. Thanks loads. Is everything going well for you? Yeah, Mom, everything's great. Mom, thanks for keeping your part of the bargain. Delicious dinners ready every night by 6:30. Aren't we a great family? Now this would be an example of the one rule in action. You can see how agreement and harmony has been part of my work for many years, because this book, the first version came out in 1992, and this edition came out in 1996. This one's still available, the others. The second one, there are a few of them, but very few. The first one, no. So here's another. Oh, I'm going to share this real quick, and we have to end. Hello, my name is Brian Kasperitis. I'm an educator and parent from Houston, Texas. A few years ago, I became aware of fellow educator Karen Rice and her educational books, more specifically, The One Rule. What impressed me about Karen's concept, The One Rule, is that it works. Let me explain. When I started utilizing Ms. Rice's suggestions with my 30-year-old daughter and my 3-year-old granddaughter, I noticed amazing results immediately. He writes more, but we'll have to end it with that. So here's answers. Oh my goodness, it's too long. There's a whole story here. Another ad. May all kids grow up happy, and may the one rule be a blessing in your life. Thank you for being part of this. I wish you all well.